Good morning, ma'am. I'm Isbert Adalman. My topics for today's seminar is all about educational leadership. So, educational leadership, from a business perspective, educational leadership is a form of academic management and quality control. At the college or university level, educational leaders are employed as department chairs, athlete directors, or curriculum directors. In elementary and secondary schools, educational leaders work as principal assistant, principals, athlete directors, headmaster, head teachers, or dean. So, sa business, so, ang magdalagay sa business or sa kwan, di ba? Kung sa eskwelahan, principals or assistant principals, or sa business, boss or managers. So, next is from an administration and supervision to instructional leadership. Studies on the quality of education here in the country and abroad brought to the fore renewed interest in supervision coupled with the quality monitoring. Goddard and Richards in Yagas Corps described the renewed interest. Supervision in education was ignored for a while, and in the 1970s, terms like an inspector or supervisor had a bad reputation. Some countries even removed these terms and the supervision service because they were seen as outdated and undemocratic. In the 1990s, interest in quality and supervision was renewed. Weber and Yagas et al. 2016 pointed out that instructional leadership includes both management and supervision. His underscore the direct the contact with teachers and the control of support service for instruction. Management leadership duties include some overarching concerns such as defining school goals, setting standards, and implementing learning climate. So it includes both the tone of the substance of leaders' relationship with the faculty, students, and community. So the next is, what is leadership? Leadership is authority invested in a trusted person and thus qualifies as a kind of moral and transformational power over the organization. So, leadership is an instructional leader's ability to research and provide necessary resource, improve learning, and allows teachers to be more effective at their jobs. For example, a principal may adopt new technologies for leaders, for teaching tools, and overseeing staff initiatives, and this process requires planning. So, sa usa ka leader sa eskwelahan, so kita nga teacher kita modelo sa usa ka estudyante nga kanang maghatag og ini kind of instruction bitaw nga mas masabtan sa usa ka estudyante. Dapat kita may mangulo kanang kung usa ka ang estudyante kanang hina kay sa pangutok or like nang dugay sa kakuha. So dili na to i-lockdown bitang sa estudyante, dapat natatuwa siyang i-motivate. So next is the leadership process is interpersonal and dynamic with the following functions. First, setting school academic goals. So there are 6. Next is maximizing effects of instructional organization, hiring, supervising, evaluating teachers, protecting instructional time and programs, monitoring achievement levels, evaluating programs, and the last is setting standards for achievement levels, setting tone for learning climate. So the next is instructional leadership. So the instructional leadership is like a conductor in an orchestra, understanding all aspects of school instruction. So kaning instructional leadership, there are focus on 2 domains. And the first is curriculum management. Is fundamentally concerned with the effective teaching and learning. The process consists of managing what students are expected to learn, whether or not it was learned, and seeking ways to improve students. So, di ba sa tuwa karon kay every 4 years mag-change man tag curriculum. So, sa tuwang maghatag ang curriculum, kanang mag-base ra po sa tuwang masaktan or kanang maghatag og kanang expected to learn kanang mahatag og effective teaching sa learning sa estudyante. Then the next is staff development. So, improvement of the knowledge and skills of employees within an organization by providing them with training. Local government is showing an increased commitment to staff development. So, kanang staff development, kanang itong, so like sa teacher, so need sila ma-training para ma-effective ilang kanang itong or less ng mag-seminar. So, need sila mag-seminar para ilang knowledge nga mas madungagan pa. The next is interactive functions. Responsibilities include hiring, supervising, and evaluating teachers. Emphasize on observing, advising, and evaluating teacher performance. Next is monitoring achievement levels and program evaluation are challenge for instructional leaders. Setting high expectation for student is a challenge for both teachers and leaders. The next is the instructional leader is physician of the instruction program. They monitor the process by knowing the program objectives, identifies issues, and prescribe remedies for weak or trouble areas. And the last is reconceptualization or supervision to instructional leadership. Supervision was reconceptualized by instructional leaders in the late 1990s. Supervision service became part of quality monitoring in the educational system. Ms. Montisa, to continue this report.
Good morning, everyone. I am Montisa Jane Kilikot, and I will continue of Mr. Dalman topic. And first to be discussed is about monitoring. So monitoring can be defined as an internal management process of continuous control of inputs, processes, and outputs in order to identify strengths and weaknesses, formulate practical proposals for action to be taken, and take the necessary steps to reach the expected results. So, why is it defined as it? Because through monitoring, organizations establish a structured framework for real-time assessment, ensuring that resources, operations, and outcomes align with predefined objectives. This ongoing scrutiny enables the identification of operational efficiencies and areas in need of refinement. The data collected during monitoring serves as a foundation for evidence-based decision-making, empowering management to devise practical strategies for enhancing organizational effectiveness. In essence, monitoring acts as a feedback loop, allowing for adaptive management practices that contribute to sustained growth and success. So, monitoring system is classified into, first is compliance monitoring. So, compliance monitoring in educational leadership involves ensuring that schools and educational institutions adhere to local, state, and federal regulations as well as internal policies. It focuses on legal and ethical considerations to maintain a safe and conducive learning environment. So, example of it is a school administrator implements compliance monitoring by regularly reviewing school policies to ensure they align with educational laws. This includes monitoring staff, certifications, student-teacher ratios, and adherence to curriculum standards to meet regulatory requirements. So, second is diagnostic monitoring. So, diagnostic monitoring in educational leadership is the process of analyzing data to identify the root causes of issues or challenges within the educational system. It helps educational leaders understand the factors influencing student performance or other concerns. So, example of it is if a principal uses diagnostic monitoring to address declining student test score. By examining assessment data, the principal identifies specific areas where students are struggling, such as in mathematics. This allows for targeted interventions like additional teacher training or revised curriculum to improve student outcomes. So, third is performance monitoring. Performance monitoring educational leadership involves regularly assessing the overall effectiveness and efficiency of educational institutions. It focuses on evaluating how well the school is meeting its educational goals and objectives. So example is, a superintendent engages in performance monitoring by analyzing key performance indicators such as graduation rates, standardized test scores, and teacher retention rates. By tracking these metrics over time, educational leaders can identify successful practices and areas for improvement, leading to informed decision-making for enhancing the overall performance of the educational system. So, typology of monitoring systems by focus. It helps, a characteristic of it is theoretical reference, goal, focus, key monitoring device, and the type is the three monitoring systems, which is the compliance, diagnostic, and performance. So, the theoretical reference of compliance monitoring is bureaucratic organization theory. Then the goal is to ensure standardized formal quality. Then the focus of it is the inputs. Then the key monitoring device is inspectorate and self-reporting. Then in the diagnostic monitoring, the theoretical reference is pedagogical theory. The goal of it is ensure efficient learning. Then the focus is teaching learning process. And the key monitoring device is advisory services and self-assessment. Then last is the performance monitoring. The theoretical reference of it is marketing competition theory. The goal is promote academic achievement. Then the focus is academic achievement. And the key monitoring device of it is the standardized testing and lead tables. The behaviors of a good supervisor according to focus group discussion in child. So it helps assist and indicates possible errors without waiting for them to occur in order to be able to sanction them. Then next is does not impose but who respects the specificity of the school and is willing to listen. Knows how to guide with human relations and empathy. Concentrates on the daily school's processes in a systematic and integrated way. Next is develops support networks. And last is takes into account the know-how of the teacher and stimulates his or her professional development. In the early 90s, a new way of leading in education emerged, shifting from bureaucratic to more flexible structures. Now, educational leaders act as an instructional guides. The lesson solve problems, creatively provide resources, collaborate with teams, build trust, and support people. Communication is open and two-way. So, example of it is this instructional leadership paradigm shift could be observed in a school where principal actively engages with teachers to collaboratively design and implement innovative teaching methods. The principal serves as a resource provider by facilitating professional development opportunities and supporting teachers with the latest educational research. Through active listening and creative problem solving, the principal addresses challenges faced by both educators and students, fostering a dynamic and responsive learning environment. This contrasts with a more traditional approach where administrative decisions are solely top-down, highlighting a transformative impact of instructional leadership in promoting collaboration and effective communication. So, leadership, according to Davis, is the skill of inspiring others to pursue goals with enthusiasm. It's the human connection that unites a group and drives it towards objectives. Instructional leaders play a crucial role in nurturing new teachers, motivating experienced ones to become leaders themselves, acting as mentors, coaches, and paving the way for future instructional leaders. So, examples of it is, consider an instructional leader in a school who actively engage with new teachers to understand their strengths, challenges, our professional goals. The teacher creates a mentorship program where experienced teachers serve as guides, providing insights, sharing best practices, and offering support to their less experienced colleagues. That's all. Thank you.